Welcome back to Nick's Allotment. Something different today. We've jumped counties, we've gone into Worcestershire and we've come to see some irises. Right, so this is Jeremy Handy from the British Iris Society, and hopefully he'll take us for a tour on the plot and explain what varieties he's got.
Right, Nick. Well, these are all tall bearded iris on this site. And we have here a group of seedlings, which is a result of hand pollination.
So you've done all these yourself?
Yes, I have.
Of course.
And they will be evaluated this year, and anything looking promising will be grown on appraisal, and hopefully we might get one or two which will get registered.
Yeah. Oh, if you could just smell the scent coming off these, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
I didn't think they had any scent, but
not many people realise they have a scent, and the scent on each one varies a lot. So we've got some named varieties here.
Right.
This one's called Spring Madness, which I've used for a bit of hybridising. Next one to it is Starring, and the pink in the background is Happenstance. They're quite small plants at the moment because they've only recently been planted out.
So do you divide these every year, or they...
We divide them every 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And that keeps the flowering going.
Right.
So if we move on up, there's more named varieties. You'll see the white one there. It is another development. It has really frilly edges to it. So it's one of those things that people either like or dislike.
Some beautiful colours.
Yeah, there's
That's a nice one.
Every colour in irises except a true red and a true green.
Right.
So you get two-tone colours. So there we have one there, which is purple on the standards and nearly black on the falls. And then you get others with colour stitch around the edges, which gives it a nice look. The pinky one over the back there is named after a dear friend of mine called Fern Harden. It was bred by one of our group members and named after her.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So have you got one named after you yet?
No, I'm not important enough.
All right. It will be if you get a special one.
Yeah.
Just amazing, all the colours.
Yes. Yes, it really is. This yellow and purple one is from Eastern Europe. It's called Strange Summer. Again, it's one of those that people either love or hate.
Did you import that one yourself, or was it just brought off other members?
No, it was brought in from Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really nice. A lot of these are American in origin.
All right.
One here called Paul Black, named after a really good American hybridizer. And that's next to one that a lot of people have in their gardens in the UK, one called Jane Phillips. Beautiful scent on that. Does really well. It never fails to flower in an English garden.
So how long do the flowers last?
Well, depending on the weather and the season, you know, they last a few weeks, but modern breeding has allowed that season to be extended. A lot of people say they're so short in the season, but by successional planting, I can get irises from April right up to July now.
All right, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a few up here which are on trial for the British Iris Society. Hybridisers send them in and we trial them for 3 years and evaluate them for awards. So we have this pale blue and white one here, and the purple one there, and the yellow one over there.
Right.
And they're trialled for 3 years to see how well they do in different locations throughout the country.
Right, so a lot of your members in the club then, they've all got some of the same variety, or is it just you at the moment?
No, there's about four or five gardens.
Right. I know the ones over there because I grow them on the plot.
Yeah, the Dutch iris.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
But nowhere near as lovely as these.
Well, they do very well up here.
Yeah.
They do very well. Yeah. And over this side, we have the Siberians, which are herbaceous. They don't have rhizomes. And they tend to come out at the end of the tall bearded season, but this year they're ahead of some of the tall bearded, but they make lovely clumps.
The bees like them, but
They certainly do.
The only thing is, if you're pollinating them.
Well, if we're pollinating Siberians, we have to emasculate them, so that means taking all the petals off and just leaving the reproductive parts of the flower.
That's it. Yeah. So these must be a different variety here then.
These are border bearded, so they only go up to about 27 inches. They're in proportion, the same as a tall bearded. But being shorter, they don't get bashed about so much by the winds. So I'm having a go at growing these this time. And if we move farther down, we've got the miniature tall bearded, which are another sort which I'm now growing.
Right.
They're very delicate little flowers, again growing to about 27 inches. And they're just so intricate, and the patterns are so gorgeous on them.
So these are the ones you've got from America?
Yeah, these came from America.
There's quite a bit of money to import them.
It certainly is. So you hope they all grow when they get here.
That's it. That's it. You've got a passion for the plants.
Yeah. And then we've got another section of seedlings.
So when's the time do you pollinate them then?
Well, any time now. I'm just waiting for some nice weather. So nice, still, warm weather. So there's plenty of pollen. And then the seed pods develop, and then we sow the seeds from September onwards. Leave them outside because they need the cold for stratification. And hopefully seedlings come up the following April.
Right, so how do you choose or evaluate which plants you're going to pollinate though?
Well, to pollinate, we're looking for some really a good plant with some good traits. So we want good branching, and we want a good flower with plenty of substance so it doesn't get bashed out in the wind, a good shape to it, and a nice colour. And we choose best. I choose best to best, and then see what develops.
Yeah.
Well, these seedlings, these are going to be evaluated now to see if I keep them or lose them. And what I'm looking for is a good number of branches on these, and the same thing is good substance, good flower. But most of these will end up on the compost heap, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it seems a shame, but
yeah, you can't let them get into the open market, because there are some which look very similar and might get attributed the wrong name.
Yeah. Right. So these are all young plants but off your own?
These are divisions which will either be planted out or sold on.
Right.
And of course, all these hybrids are hybrids, so you never know what colour you're going to get. you could put two whites together and probably get something totally different.
Yeah, it's like dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs are the same.
Yeah.
You always get a different colour one in a litter. Right, oh, we've got some different irises here.
Yeah, these are some more of the miniature tall-bearded. Some of these have come from the Netherlands, from a breeder out there. Again, you can see that we've had wind here for over a week now, and they're still stood up, whereas next to it, the tall-bearded have been bashed about a bit. So I think they've got a place in the British garden in the future.
Yeah.
There's not many of us growing them at the moment, but hopefully they'll become more fashionable.
That's it. I think I better start growing some on my allotment.
I think so.
Or home. So are these the same?
These are standard dwarfs, and they finish flowering.
All right, we're too late then.
April, yeah.
Yeah.
And these have only just been planted out there from America, and hopefully next year there'll be some nice clumps and a really good show of flowers.
That's it. So these are all named varieties, what
Yes,
you got here?
all named varieties.
Yeah. So you would be able to sell those when you divide them, or
possibly.
Up when then.
But I just love the look of mass planting. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, if I can get a carpet of colour, that's great.
Yeah. How often do you go weeding?
Every week.
Yeah.
Every
I don't
week.
show you that on the gardening, on the TV. Yeah.
Run the hoe through every week.
Yeah. Right, we've come to Jeremy's other plot. So he's got some more here. How long have you had this plot then?
This is the second year, so I spent the first year trying to clean it up a bit.
Yeah.
Dug it and mucked it, and then we're just planting out this last year's seedlings.
So do the irises like well manured ground, or?
I don't like too much, but the ground here is pretty poor, so we have to put something in.
Yeah.
And they get a dressing of bloodfish and bone in the spring prior to flowering.
Do you have to water them much?
No, I water them in, but irises don't mind the dry. They like sunny weather, so they do okay here. It's fairly dry in the summer here. No, they don't get watered once they've established.
That's it. So you've got some young plants down there you planted. Should we have a look at them?
Yep.
So you're not into your vegetable growing then?
No, my daughter does that. So these will probably be evaluated in either next year or the year after.
So these all ones you've bred yourself as well?
Yeah, but
you have a busy time.
Yeah.
Buckets of seed.
Yeah, we'll put about 1,500 seed in a year.
At all?
Yeah, that's all.
Do you put those in like individual pots and label what you've crossed them with, or?
I put about 25, 30 seeds in a pot of a certain cross.
Yeah, and then you mark all that up.
Yeah.
You don't just bung the seeds in, like what I'm trying to explain.
Yeah.
And
so then they're pricked out into individual pots and then grown on a bit. And we see what happens. Some of these are looking promising on growth, because we've already got a number of side shoots coming on this one, which obviously shows that it's a good grower. We just want a good flower on it now.
That's it. So how many iris do you reckon you got altogether?
On the allotments and at home, probably close to 2,000.
Crikey. Labour of love. Right.
So these are slightly younger, but they'll soon catch up with those.
So will these flower this year or not?
No. And not all of them will flower next year.
So how many years from a seed before they flower then?
Normally 2 to 3 years. But these at the top here, because I grew them on over winter in the polytunnel, they're flowering at 18 months. So that's
good then.
That's good.
At least you can see what
we can
and what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeremy was saying he'd like to buy a piece of ground so he could set up it in a bigger way.
Yeah.
So he's got it all in one area.
Grow a few more.
Yeah, and more. Yeah, it's just finding that piece of ground or renting it.
Yeah. So here we have some that are even younger.
Yeah.
These are some of this year's.
So these would have been grown in September, did you say? Or
yeah, they would have been planted in
place.
September. Yep.
There's an angry wasp over there.
Yeah, it's on to try and boost them a bit.
Right, we've got some young plants here. What compost do you pot them in? Just ordinary multi-purpose, or?
Yeah, with plenty of drainage, because we don't want to get them too wet, otherwise they can rot off. But I'm trying various composts because we're having to go peat-free. I've done a few experiments with different peat-free composts as well.
Right.
These have just been potted on to give them a bit of a boost, because I found that if I can pot them on a few times, I get bigger plants, so they transplant out into the garden better.
Right, what got you into growing irises then, Jeremy?
I was at a friend's nursery in his back garden. I walked around the back of his house and there was these 2 huge beds of mass planted iris, and I just went wow, and I think that was it. And he bought my first collection. That's where all this started. So,
yeah, crikey, that's good then. Right, it's got a nice orange one here.
Yeah, this is my wife's favourite. It's called Crackling Caldera. It's absolutely stunning, glows when the sun's on it. She just expressed her admiration of it to a fellow grower, and he gave her one, and that's where this one's come from.
I suppose you get other members and you can swap plants, I suppose,
yeah,
as well.
There's a lot of that goes on.
Yeah, nice bit of swapping.
Yeah, and there's a big resurgence in historic irises now, from when they first started back in the late 1800s. We have lots of members growing those sorts now, which totally different shape.
Yeah, also grows flowers. It is garden at home, irises, and he only lives just up the road, half a mile, and he reckons there's 3 weeks difference between the flowering times. You wouldn't believe that, would you?
No. No.
I think that's going to come to the end now. Thank you very much for inviting me, Jeremy.
Well, you're welcome. Come anytime.
Yeah, at least it's only up the road.
Yep.
So, thank you very much. And we'll probably see you at Malvern or one of the other shows.
Yeah, we hope to be back at Malvern next year.
Yeah.
So, all being well.
Yeah, right. Okay then, that's it for this time, folks. So, ta-ra.